again. Let me try and see if I can set the camera up a different way. Hang on. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Real life person, real life situation, man. Give me just a few seconds. Try it this way, see if it'll work better. No. All right, y'all. We're just gonna have to work with it this way. Okay. So, of course, this is live from the truck. It's just me. Of course, hosted by Brent Foxx. What I wanted to do was just kind of go over the undercard for the Canelo Berlangua fight. Now, of course, I'm not going to cover Canelo or Berlangua. I will, however, go over the Caleb Plant, Trevor McCumbee fight. I'll also go over Irislandi Lara versus Danny Garcia. Excuse me. And then Cool Boy Steph. I'm sorry, Scooter, who likes to be called Scooter. Stephon Fulton or Stephen Fulton has a fight on an untelevised undercard. So I could probably just go over, his comeback. I don't have very much information on this opponent, unfortunately. I did, however, wind up, of course, studying Trevor McCumbee, and then, his matchup against Caleb Plant. So basically, I'm gonna do like a very quick, impromptu 20 by 20. What's up, Soul Power? You had a great show last night, or early this morning, rather, man. Very, very powerful show. I definitely appreciate that, brother. I'll be looking for more shows like that, and a special salute to Shawa Yala. It's always a pleasure hearing from you. Now, just to kind of break down the Irislandi Laura Danny Garcia fight. Now, this fight would have been great a few years back, but of course, they were in two entirely different weight classes, so the fight didn't look like a possibility. I think if Danny were more active, this probably be a better matchup. But unfortunately, if this is your first time back in almost 2 years, I believe. I think the last fight he had was against Jose Benavidez, and I think that was like a couple of years back. So yeah, if he were a little bit more active, I think this fight would probably be a lot more. It'd probably be a lot more difficult for Laura. I think Laura hasn't. Well, no, he had a he was on the undercard of the tank, one of the tank fights, and I think that was, I think that was over a year ago too. But nonetheless, I think Laura had more recent fight experience than Danny, and unfortunately, yes, you can train a whole lot, and yes, you can do pretty good, a pretty good amount of sparring, which that definitely helps. Don't get me wrong, but the sparring is not it's not a great substitute for a fight. It is a good one, but it's not a great one. You have to be able to had a fight under your belt, or a fight or two under your belt, if you haven't been in there for a for an extended amount of time. There, the ring rust is real. Like ring rust, that's a real thing. So you have to, you definitely have to make sure that you stay active, especially in an advanced age. As far as boxing goes, otherwise excuse me, otherwise the ring rust that you have when you're closer to like an older and advanced age weighs in or becomes a factor um, as you just kind of move along. Oh boy. Now, as far as like the style matchup actually goes, of course, Irislan Delora is a southpaw. Danny Garcia is an orthodox fighter. In most cases, it's advantageous for a orthodox fighter against a southpaw because the southpaws naturally align to the strong or backhand of an orthodox fighter, which is a good right hand. Danny Garcia is known for throwing, also known for throwing good left hooks. He does have a very good right hand as well. He demonstrated a good overhand right when he was doing a Fight Town interview, of course, with Steven Jackson. Shout out to him. So naturally, when an orthodox fighter fights a southpaw, they could have success if they have a decent right hand. However, as I mentioned before, because Danny Garcia has not been in the ring for almost 2 years, then that could kind of be detrimental as far as timing. I think timing is going to be very, very important, especially in a fight like this, when you well regarded or very well skilled boxer like Irislan Laura, who I believe actually won the Canelo fight. But yeah, you have to have a sense of timing with someone like that. You can't just go in there and try and pretty much bully your way to him or just try to line him up without some sort of like fight experience. Um, I think that G bump. Okay, I think that Danny Garcia may have some moments of success, but I don't think that it's actually going to be enough to beat Irislan Laura. I do not see Laura stopping him or knocking him out, but I do see him clearly winning. Like I don't think that it's even really close. I think that Laura is probably going to do something like 8-4 or maybe 9-3. I hate that for Danny Garcia because I am a fan of Danny Garcia. I love his actual personality. His fighting style is pretty good. I've enjoyed him fighting. What's my what's my guy from Argentina's name? Dang. Um, it's the La Machina. It'll come back to me. But yeah, I enjoyed him you know, beating him. Um, Matisse. I enjoyed him beating Matisse, ironically, on the Floyd Canelo undercard. Now, I didn't like him beating Zab Judah. Zab Judah's my dude, but yeah, he beat him pretty convincingly. Of course, it all started with him beating Eric Morales. Um, and Danny's resume is a very good one. It's arguable that he beat Sean Porter. The Keith Thurman fight, I think that Keith did enough to kind of keep Danny at bay. So it wasn't too it wasn't too upsetting that Keith Thurman won, but that Sean Porter fight that he had, I think that even though that could have went either way, I think that I think that he could have beat Sean Porter had the judges looked at it differently. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I didn't appreciate that at all, Soul Power, man. Oh Lord. Okay, I shouldn't be looking at that anyway. Um, but yeah, I think that I think that with his resume, um, I think it's impressive enough. I just want Danny to, even though he may lose this fight, I would still want Danny to try to remain active. Most fighters on the PBC circuit have trouble actually just kind of staying active, and of course, that says something about the promotional group. Now, again, I do think while Laura will probably have a convincing win against Danny Garcia, I would want Danny Garcia to still try to remain active. And if there's maybe a rematch or something like that, he can revisit maybe after an opponent or two. That would be great. I wouldn't mind seeing it again, kind of depending on what happens tonight. Um, moving on, um, I will address the return of Stephen Coolboy. I'm sorry, dang, I keep calling him Coolboy. I'm sorry. Stephen Fulton, Scooter, aka Scooter. Um, I think that with the way that he feels like he's been wronged, especially with this card, and I don't blame him. Like, come on, this man was like a unified champion at one point, and you gonna not even put him on a televised version of the card? Come on, man. I think that was wrong. I really do. I think that was actually very wrong. And his only loss is to arguably the best pound for pound fighter on the face of the planet. Now, the reason I say arguably is because I still believe that Terrence Crawford is the best pound for pound fighter on the face of the planet. That is just my opinion, though. But I think that, yeah, I think that Fulton's fight needed to be televised. I think people are eager to see his return, and for PBC to do that, and yes, I'm gonna go ahead and just call a name out. For PBC to do that, I think that was, I think it was, it, I think it was divisive or vindictive, and I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I'm just a fan, so I'm a guy on the outside looking in. But maybe he rubbed somebody at the front office the wrong way, and they probably put him on an undercard because of that. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, that's just speculation, and again, I do not know what really happened, but there has to be something that happened if you go from fighting anyway um, on I think basically a pay-per-view card from ESPN to doing that. I think that probably because he took the NUA fight, it pissed PBC off. Now that I think about it, and they probably did that as maybe or some form of punishment. Um, but yeah, me too. Soul Power. I think that Bud pound for pound now, I think it's not even arguable. Hey, I'm gonna clean this lens. Hang on. All right, there we go. All right. Okay. So at any rate, I think that it would probably be a lot better for Stephen Fulton once he actually gets this convincing win against the unnamed opponent again.